Hello everybody, and welcome to the channel. So ever since I finished the first draft of my novel, I find myself answering the same question over and over again. Where do you get all these crazy ideas? And I know I'm not unique. Probably the most frequently asked question that any writer gets, especially from people who don't consider themselves creative, is some version of, how do you come up with this stuff? And I don't know about you, but typically my answer is always, I don't know. That's kind of just how my brain works, I guess? Which is definitely not a satisfying answer. So I'd like to take the time now to give the real answer, and hopefully in doing so I can dispel one of the more annoying myths about creative writing. So typically the people who are asking this question are the same people who would never call themselves creative. They're often the kind of people who think about being a good writer or a good artist as some kind of inborn trait. You either have it or you don't. And in their minds, they don't. So when they ask this question of, where do you get your ideas? They're not necessarily looking for a real answer. They're not looking for a, well, I've been watching a lot of Black Mirror lately, and I just started playing through the original Castlevania again, so mostly what they're looking for is confirmation. They want you to say, but I don't come up with the ideas. The ideas find me. It must be my muse. It's followed me since the womb. Because if that's the case, then it means no matter how much they want to try to write a book or design a webcomic, whatever it was they've wanted to do since they were a kid, they just can't. It's impossible. And it's not their fault. They just weren't given the gift. They don't have the muse. If you can't tell by my tone, I think all this creativity stuff is total bullshit. So here we go. Where do I come up with my crazy ideas? Let's take, for example, a short story I wrote recently. It centers around a pair of physicists preparing for their first mission into orbit. In order to make the voyage survivable for humans, NASA has developed a way to transfer your consciousness into a new bioprinted body with a much longer lifespan. And for the most part, people just have a complete reconstruction of their current body printed, with a few upgrades. But our protagonist realizes that this is the opportunity he's been waiting for his whole life to finally feel like himself, and so he prints himself a female body instead. Now, I realize this is not the most original idea, but bear with me. I'm not claiming this is how idea generation works for everyone, but this is how it works for me. I'm walking through my everyday life, and offhand, I have a thought. It's so weird how people treat each other differently based on their gender presentation. I wonder what would happen if I had a different body. Would people treat me differently? Would they be wrong to do so? That's it. Just an offhand thought, like the kind that people have all the time, every day. But I think the thing that people call creativity is born right here, in this moment. Because instead of what I might want to do, which is shrug my shoulders and just go, well, guess we'll never know. Instead, I grab onto that thought and I mull it over and I look at it from all angles. Ask questions about it. Well, yeah, so maybe we'll never know, but theoretically, how could we know? I guess if there was a way to just put me in another body, why would somebody need to be put in a new body? Just to try it out? Well, new bodies could last longer. Yeah, but who would need to live longer for a reason other than vanity? Well, it does take a long time to get to other planets. So I guess if NASA wanted people to be able to make the journey, they'd come up with a way to get people longer lasting bodies? But even then, if I did have a female body, what would happen? Would I just be a woman? Well, no. I might look like one, but I still wouldn't have the same experience of gender conditioning and systematic oppression that would give me the same lens through which, and suddenly, we have a character, a setting, a plot, and a conflict. So see, it's not about creativity. All creativity is just taking the time to not let an idea go. And this is something that anyone can do. So be on the lookout for those thoughts, the ones that really interest you, no matter what they are. And instead of shrugging your shoulders and letting them go, hold on to them. Mull them over like a grain of sand in your mouth, building the layers one on top of another until you have a pearl, or at least something you can turn into one. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Left to Right. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments, where do you get your ideas? Do you feel like anything I just said resonates with you, or is it all crap? I'd love to talk about it.